An epic search is reaching its climax to crown one British bakery the best. 60 bakeries from across the country competed.
I've been waiting for someone to do that with British baking.
Just 3 are still standing. The challenges keep getting bigger.
100 savoury, 100 sweet. I'm going to be counting.
If we don't get the spice mix right, it will be game over for us.
Bolder.
I don't think I'm panicking, I'm just slightly anxious.
And more delicious.
Our bakeries are capable of excellence. Nothing less will do.
It's really nice.
Oh, yeah.
So far, so good.
Professional pride is at stake.
I don't want to give up now.
We're going down, mate. We are going down.
There will be triumphs.
I think this is one of the best focaccias I've tasted in this country.
And disasters.
Oh, we'll be making these again.
I actually think they're mad.
But only one winner.
And the title goes to...
of Britain's best bakery. The 3 bakeries chosen by the judges to take part in the grand final are the Angel Share from Richmond in North Yorkshire.
I never thought at the beginning that this would happen, so yeah, really, really pleased.
The Cake Shop Bakery from Woodbridge, Suffolk.
So excited to be in the final of this competition.
And Maison Macy from Moseley in Birmingham.
Feeling confident that we can win Britain's best bakery.
The judges, doyen of cake making Mitch Turner and award-winning chef and artisan baker Peter Sidwell, are now putting the 3 bakeries through 3 days of tough challenges. No one will leave the competition today, but the judges will be scrutinising everything the 3 bakeries do. Today's round, the Market Challenge. The bakeries have been tasked with creating at least 5 sweet and savoury items to sell to the lunchtime shoppers at London's historic Old Spitalfields Market. Their bakes must include bread, pastries and cakes, and they'll be setting their stalls side by side to see who can command the most trade.
This is where we get to see how well our bakeries can adapt to a new environment.
Well, we know our bakeries can bake. They are very good at that. They're in the last 3. But can they turn their baking into cold, hard cash?
It's a 6 a.m. start in London for the 3 bakeries as they head into the kitchen for the battle to commence.
You have 4.5 hours, so if you are ready, get baking.
Working in an unfamiliar kitchen and with so many items to bake, they will all need to keep a close eye on the clock today. The judges are looking for products that clearly identify their bakeries.
Time management is going to be key for our bakeries today to ensure that they deliver a little snapshot of their bakery on their table at Old Spitalfields Market.
And their first job is to get started on their breads, mixing flour, water and yeast, so the dough has plenty of time to prove.
It's going to bulk ferment now for about an hour and a half, 2 hours.
With their first batch of dough ready for proving, our brother and sister duo, David and Lindsay, of the Cake Shop in Suffolk.
Put these in the fridge for a bit. I love walking fridges. Just chuck it in.
These driven sibling artisans took over their family business less than a year ago, and they're more than ready to push themselves.
We've had loads of great comments. It's given us loads of confidence just to follow our own instincts. So what we've done today is just come up with a menu that we kind of would want to see at a market.
While the judges have asked for a minimum of 5 different bakes, the Cake Shop are planning 7.
What are you making today?
Making 2 breads. One is a wholemeal. The other bread that we're making is a ciabatta.
Right.
And then off the same dough, we're going to make some pizza squares.
Right. What else are you baking?
We're making chocolate brownie and some lemon and ginger cookies and frangipane tarts.
What's the product you're most worried about?
Everything in terms of oven space, I think.
Oven space and time.
It's going to be about how we get stuff through the ovens.
Thinking big can sometimes let these ambitious siblings down. Yesterday, their complex gorgonzola focaccia was too flavoursome at a tea for the Chelsea pensioners and completely missed the brief.
It's not the sort of thing that I would have a go in, shall I say.
Every bake has showcased their quirky flavour combinations, but they can struggle with timing. In the regional final, they only just got their cake iced with seconds to spare.
It's pretty tough. That icing is my new enemy.
And they'll need to think on their feet to get everything made today.
I think Cake Shop Bakery are being quite ambitious. They're presenting 7 different baked items.
But I'm not sure they've quite got an absolute hero product that they can bang on about the customers and no one else can do.
But the Cake Shop are confident that they have a standout product in their first sweet bake, lemon and ginger cookies.
We make this cookie at work. We thought it'd be really nice with lemon and ginger, but with like discs of wet crystallised ginger.
Lindsay starts by creaming together butter and brown sugar, then adds the dry ingredients, a combination of flour, baking powder and bicarbonate of soda, along with lemon zest. She adds eggs to bind the mixture and the all-important stem ginger. Then the cookie dough is chilled in the fridge. Dough rested, David slices into biscuit-sized discs.
Oh yeah.
And they're popped into the oven for 15 minutes.
Looking good, looking good.
Over at Birmingham-based Patissiers Maison Macy, brothers David and Remy are on unfamiliar ground with this challenge.
I've never been to any market in London, as a matter of fact, so I haven't got an idea of what type of clientele is there and what sort of price to aim for. It's definitely going to be some guesswork when we go to the market.
Along with quirky dog-shaped meringues, they're full of ideas for their stall today.
So today for the challenge, we've got the focaccia, 2 types, we've got the meringues, we've got a chocolate cake, 2 types of quiches. We're making a cheesecake today as well, topped with fresh fruits.
What fruits are you using?
Strawberry, raspberry and blueberry.
You've shown on previous challenges that you are very pedantic about your attention to detail and that you sometimes struggle with the time. What are you going to do to make sure that today you achieve all the products in time and they all look how you want them to look?
Ooh. Well, by cracking on with it now.
The brothers are more than able to work to a brief. Although they'd never made a Chelsea bun before, yesterday theirs was deemed the best by the Chelsea pensioners.
Altogether, it's a tea that of high quality.
They dazzled with their creative flair in the heats, but their uncompromising attention to detail
time is extremely tight.
Meant they almost ran out of time with their chocolate and lemon gâteau in the mass catering challenge. With 5 items to make for their stall today, David and Remy can't afford to sacrifice quality for quantity as they crack on with a sweet item, baked cheesecakes with fresh fruit topping.
Cheesecake, I know it's American, but something really trendy and that people really love in the UK. So I think on the market stall it'll go down really well.
Convinced it's a surefire seller, Remy combines melted butter with crushed biscuits, enough to make 30 cheesecakes.
Maison Macy are being quite bold with their choice of bakes today. There's very little French influence in the style of products that they're showcasing.
Do you know what? I feel like we see a different Maison Macy every single challenge.
While the biscuit bases are baking, Remy combines cream cheese, corn flour, caster sugar, lemon and cream for the filling. The cheesecake filling is poured onto the partially baked biscuit bases. With each bakery having limited oven space, these will need to bake in batches. But that doesn't faze Remy.
Should give us enough time for them to all cool down and finish the decoration on it. So far so good.
Bakeries, you have had 1 hour. You have 3.5 hours left.
What, have you got a clean bowl?
At the third bakery to make it through to the final, the Angel's Share, purveyors of local Yorkshire produce, Alex and Di, are keeping a keen eye on what the others are doing.
We are quite concerned about what the competition is making because we're so close to the end now. We don't really want to lose sight of that and we want ours to look the best. Let's get them in.
And they have an advantage over their rivals today. The pair are used to selling their wares at farmers' markets.
Are you familiar with markets and trading?
We do probably about 6 or 7 a year.
So the judges are keen to know how they're planning to make their stalls stand out today.
We've got 2 types of bread. We're doing a real seedy bread, a kind of a real healthy bread. Got some sesame oil in, just give it a real nutty flavour. We're also doing some pizzas, fresh cream quiches with goat's cheese, 2 types of tomato, or 3 types of tomato, and just some fresh basil. It's quite simple.
Nice summery flavours.
Yes. Yeah.
No taste of Yorkshire in there.
How are the customers of Old Spitalfields Market going to get a taste of Richmond?
The minute we open our mouths, probably.
Is that you relying on a bit of northern charm, are you?
Oh, yes. Di's going to ramp it up.
Well, good luck with that.
Di and Alex's love of Yorkshire produce and flair for flavours have seen them make surefire progress through every round. Their locally sourced Cumberland pie was a hit in the heats.
It is a really very, very good pie.
And in the regional final, their judges' choice cake was a triumph. But they nearly lost their place in the competition yesterday, attempting their own icing for the Chelsea pensioners' fondant fancy. So they've decided to keep it simple today, with tried and tested bakes like the brownie.
We chose to make the brownies just because they're a great seller, always on the market, so we thought raspberry ones might appeal to the ladies and hazelnut ones might appeal to the gents, so we'll see.
But the judges aren't so sure.
I was surprised that the Angel Share were using so few products from their local region. They've been such strong advocates of supporting their local produce in all of the previous rounds, yet today that seems to have gone out the window.
And with chocolate brownies featuring on every bakery's list, the girls will have to work hard to make this one stand out. Alex adds flour to melted butter, sugar and Belgian chocolate, followed by beaten eggs. With the chocolate brownie mix made, she blitzes roasted hazelnuts and adds them to half the mixture.
God, I don't think I can lift that.
For the nut brownies, she tops off the bake with more hazelnuts. And for the raspberry version, places whole raspberries on the bottom of the baking tray before adding the brownie mixture. Then it's 20 minutes baking time. 90 minutes in, and Maison Messy's fresh fruit cheesecakes, the Cake Shop's lemon and ginger cookies, and the Angel Share's hazelnut and raspberry brownies are all complete. But with the judges looking for each bakery to produce at least 5 bakes in this challenge, the pressure is still on.
Refreshing afternoon entertainment. Everyday favourites, sponsored by Febreze.
With the Dyson Digital Motor V6, 2-tier radial cyclones, and a motorised cleaner head, the new Dyson Digital Slim Vacuum sucks up as much dust as even a corded vacuum.
What is your definition of happiness?
A clear horizon. Nothing to worry about.
Whatever your casino game, play in style. Wherever you are. Welcome to the award-winning online casino, MrGreen.tv.
This year,
who's in the mood to plunder?
The secret of Neverland's biggest legend
Pirates
begins with the smallest pirate ever.
Oh, me hearties. The Pirate Fairy.
Disney presents.
She's going to make the whole ship fly!
We have to get that done. Hot spot! You don't see that every day.
Tinkerbell and the Pirate Fairy.
You gotta love the boots. Refreshing afternoon entertainment. Everyday favourites, sponsored by Febreze.
It's the first round of the 3-day grand final. And the 3 remaining bakeries are in a London kitchen, battling it out in a baking marathon. The brief is to produce a minimum of 5 different eye-catching bakes that will best represent their bakery and appeal to the hungry lunchtime crowd at Old Spitalfields Market.
It's fine. Is it good? Done? Yeah. Brilliant.
all under the watchful eye of judges Mitch and Peter.
All of our bakeries have shown in earlier challenges that they have had little wobbles in terms of time management.
Yes.
They've got to make sure that they deliver a quality product on time, ready to sell.
Well into the challenge now, quirky Suffolk artisans David and Lindsay from the cake shop are turning out meringues as one of their ambitious 7 bakes. And David's finding it hard to judge whether they're getting the quantities right.
It's quite hard because all these amounts are different from what we'd normally make in the bakery. But I'm hoping for maybe like 30 meringues.
With so much to make, David presses on with another item. Wholemeal bread made with flour from the local water mill near the bakery.
And this represents the water wheel.
Brother and sister David and Lindsay only took over their Suffolk bakery from their father 5 months ago, bringing their intuitive ideas to modernise the bakery and introduce exciting new bakes. But they've had little time yet to hone their business skills, and today is going to put that to the test.
Dave, what ovens are you using?
1, 2, 3.
And the judges are worried that he's misjudged his marketing strategy.
They're using the flour from their local mill. But a brown loaf of bread is not going to be all singing or dancing to people who are coming in to buy for their lunchtime trade.
Yeah, I'm not so sure that is the product that's going to sell.
But David's facing a more immediate problem, planning how to use his oven space.
I'm just going to have to take them out as and when they're done, get the trays back, and then use them for the bread.
If it's bread, you might be able to put one on the bottom, but no, you wouldn't. It's too much of a squeeze.
So his loaves are going to have to wait. Di and Alex from the Angel's Share are also rolling out their loaves.
We decided to make the CD loaf because it's our most popular at the bakery.
And they're convinced that their Richmond Cobblestones will be a winner. Incorporating a mixture of poppy and linseeds into white and rye flour, the loaves are topped with pumpkin seeds and left to prove. The loaves are named after the Angel's Share's picturesque Yorkshire town, Richmond, where their bakery creates hearty pies, breads and tray bakes from a shop in a disused railway station. Former banker-turned-baker Alex prides herself on putting a contemporary spin on classic bakes. And she's hoping her ideas today will appeal to the market-going crowd.
I really like the visual side of this. I think they're different. If I walk past one of these, I would want to buy one. I just hope that that dough has enough time and stretch to really prove up.
Meanwhile, Maison Macy's focaccia dough made with olive oil has proved.
We're making 25 focaccia roughly.
And they're preparing ingredients for 2 types of focaccia. Cheese and onion and roast vegetable, combining courgette and tomato. In contrast to the other bakeries, David and Remy are supersizing their bread bake. These Michelin-trained French baking brothers have been delighting the residents of Moseley and Birmingham for the last 8 years with their technically complex patisseries and mouth-watering pastries. But this challenge is uncharted territory for the 2 pastry makers, and Mitch has noticed the scale of their ambition.
Maison Macy have actually made 25 of these focaccia, 12 of the cheese and onion, and a baker's dozen of the courgette and tomato.
Back at the cake shop, David has finally freed up some oven space and gets his wholemeal loaves into bake. And he and Lindsay move straight on to their next bake, a blackcurrant frangipane. Lindsay starts with a sweet short crust pastry and blind bakes. She's planning on adding her own twist to these almond tarts.
Blackcurrant frangipane is a new item, especially for today's challenge.
Especially for today. I'm making just a simple blackcurrant compote to put in the base, in the bottom, and then frangipane, and then just a few on the top, and then decorate it with the leaves, because the leaves taste so beautifully of blackcurrants.
Happy with your time management?
Time management is good.
All right, we'll leave you to crack on.
Working in sibling harmony, David cooks frozen blackcurrants with sugar, orange juice and zest.
Yeah. Cooking John.
While Lindsay makes the almond frangipane, creaming together butter and brown sugar, then adding eggs.
We add eggs one by one so the mix doesn't split. Well, there's less chance of it splitting.
Followed by a mixture of ground almonds, flour and salt. David keeps a vigilant eye on the blind baking. A burnt base won't look good on their stall.
Are you okay? You haven't got anything burning, have you?
No, nothing burning.
Cases, are they blind baking?
Yeah, I've just got one left to do and then I can crack on with those.
Once the bases are ready, Lindsay fills with blackcurrant compote. Then pipes the almond filling and tops off with more blackcurrants before baking. And this creative combination seems to be winning over the judges.
I actually think their Blackcurrant Frangipane might be the hero product. Did you not notice a glint in their eye when they started to tell us about
I
this?
am loving the idea of those blackcurrants wrapped up in frangipane with a beautiful sablé biscuit base.
2.5 hours in, and there's still a way to go before any of the bakeries will know how they've done in this challenge.
Do you want me to give you a hand with the pastry?
No, I'm all right.
Okay.
I'm going to do the leeks, unless you want to chop the leeks. And I start rolling it.
At the Angel's Share, Yorkshire lasses Di and Alex are pushing on with their pastry bake.
I'm just going to start rolling her dies. She's doing the leeks ready for the quiches.
The ticking clock is at the forefront of Alex's mind.
We've been hurrying from the start. We haven't taken it easy. So I think to say we've got 2.5 hours gone, we've got quite a few things done now off the list. So I think we're doing quite well.
And they're continuing to keep it simple with a 3 cheese and tomato quiche. Alex shapes the pastry cases, which are then filled with softened leeks, baby plum tomatoes, and 3 cheeses: goat's cheese, parmesan, and grated cheddar.
These always sell out straight away, and we've aimed for the lunchtime crowd. So we've gone not for take-home food, more for eat it on the spot.
Alex then fills with a cream and egg mix, and the quiches bake for 35 minutes.
I actually think Angel's Share are looking like in a really strong position at the moment. Everything seems to be coming together quite nicely. It looks appealing, it looks fresh, it looks tasty.
So let's start. Focaccia done, meringues are done.
But over at Maison Macy, the Gallic gourmets have still got a lot to make and are beginning to feel the heat.
Every challenge we did, the hour seems to be flying past. At the start it's fine, and come halfway, just fly by.
So they need to waste no time in getting on with their savoury items. And they're also making that French classic, quiche.
Quiche is really traditional French, but we're using really local ingredients from Birmingham.
Using savoury pastry, they're making 2 types, ham and leek, and a vegetarian option, using ingredients bought near their Birmingham bakery.
We have a farm shop next to us, and this is one of their ham that they cook on the premises.
But unlike the Angel's Share quiches, which are designed to eat on the go, Maison Macy have something more substantial in mind.
This is Maison Macy's quiche. Look at the size of those. I think it's too large. This isn't a family outing. People aren't buying for a family supper. And they're making 8 of those. You've produced a huge volume for your market challenge. Do you feel that you've been over-ambitious?
I don't think we've been over-ambitious with what we've done.
The brothers plough on, adding large quantities of ham, watercress, Stilton and mushroom, then add the egg and cream filling. But the judges are wondering whether these will be up to their usual Michelin-inspired standard.
I just wonder whether they've compromised on the quality, because we have seen real attention to detail and quality from them before, and this doesn't feel like their best work.
Over at the Cake Shop bakery, David's in a chirpy mood as he starts on the topping for some pizzas.
I learnt this off a very good friend of mine. His guidance on how much oil to put in was much more than you think. It's more than I think.
He's making a rich passata from sieved and pureed ripe tomatoes, to which he adds fresh basil and thyme, shallots, garlic, and sweetens with sugar.
Where's the sieve, Lindsay?
Angel's Share.
And the adaptable sibling duo have made a snap decision about their range of bakes.
We've decided not to do the ciabatta.
Plain ciabatta?
Yeah, we're just going to use it as pizza.
Why have you decided to do that?
It's mainly a kind of business decision, because we've got enough of all the toppings to do more, and it's more lucrative.
The Angel's Share are also making pizza.
Anything else on these, Alex? Any basil about like that?
And knowing that the three bakeries will be selling side by side at the market, Alex is well aware that hers have got to stand out.
If you've got lots of things that people are looking at, you've got to get them to stop and come, so you've got to straight away grab the rice. We've tried to go for real colour.
So she's adding a rich combination of pesto, sun-dried tomatoes, basil and mozzarella.
Right,
Bakeries, you have 1 hour remaining.
Maison Macy's roasted vegetable focaccia are coming out of the oven, and their quiches are going in.
It's going to be touch and go because there's a lot of baking to do left, and all our ovens are already full.
David's struggling to cope with the unfamiliar ovens.
The problem with the ovens is we don't get any heat from on the top, and it just cremates the bottom. And on the other hand, you've got heat at the top, but none at the bottom.
And Di at the Angel's Share fears they've fallen foul of the ovens too.
We've nothing in it, would I?
The bread, but I'm not happy with it.
Oh no.
I don't think the oven's been hot enough, but I didn't want to get it too hot.
Has everything gone exactly how you were hoping?
Di's not happy with the bread, but I think it looks lovely. On the whole, I think we're happy with everything.
Although they're worried about the bread, Angel's Share's strategy of sticking with tried and tested bakes means they have everything under control.
Oh, they look gorgeous, don't they?
David?
But over at the cake shop, David's upbeat mood is giving way to panic.
Lindsay, what's your situation? Because can you help me? Because this is much more important.
Okay.
He's only just got his dough rolled out and needs to top the pizzas.
I'm really worried about the cake shop bakery. I feel like they have left everything to the very last minute. David is really true to his bread heritage, and he likes to leave the bread doughs to prove for absolutely as long as he possibly can. The best dough in the world that's proved and got the most amazing flavour is all for nothing if you haven't baked it and got it to the table.
With less than 20 minutes baking time left, David's still got to add toppings of passata, onions, courgette, cheese and asparagus.
Not too much toppings because we want them to bake quickly.
Bakeries, you have 15 minutes left. If it's not baked, it's not going to market.
We've got a problem with the oven, really. I mean, everything is just waiting on cooking. So, il va cramer en dessous. C'est tout cramé en dessous, en fait. I'm pretty sure not everything will be done in time.
The atmosphere is tense, and all the bakeries can do is wait.
Am I visibly sweating?
Bakeries, you have 2 minutes left.
And hope their final batch of bakes are ready when the judges call time.
I'm waiting till they go, that's it!
Bakeries, that's it. Time's up. Everything out of the oven.
Ready or not?
And then a look of relief and jubilation.
These are not baked.
But baked or not, there's nothing more the bakeries can do.
I think I'm pleased with how it all went.
Got enough to sell, and I'm happy with the quality.
Well, not everything is cooked, so a bit gutted, but at least it's over.
We're a little bit rushed at the end, but, you know, we've got everything done in this time and we're happy, aren't we?
Yeah.
The only remaining task is to pack up the bakes in preparation for the next stage of the challenge. Selling their wares at the old Spitalfields market.
Thank you.
Refreshing afternoon entertainment. Everyday favourites, sponsored by Febreze.
Nose, help! These stairs never end! Just like my cold, I'm totally blocked! Don't let congestion slow you down. Help clear your nose with Otravine. Because Otravine is applied exactly where it's needed, Otravine can work up to 7 times faster than decongestant tablets to unblock your nose. Otravine, the UK's #1 decongestant nasal spray.
Martin's put the wrong fuel in his car. That's a big deal. If he misses a date with Jenny, she might think he doesn't care. And she might write a song about his piggy eyes, which becomes an overnight smash sensation in 146 countries, including Finland. Don't worry, Martin. Unlike others, we'll cover you even if you fill up with the wrong fuel. Green flag, no matter what.
Refreshing afternoon entertainment. Everyday favourites, sponsored by Febreze.
It's the first day of a marathon 3-day baking grand final. The 3 finalists have spent the morning baking against the clock. And now it's time to set up their stalls in East London's trendy Old Spitalfields Market. Nestled in the heart of the city, in the shadow of historic Christchurch, there's been a market on this site since the early 17th century. Today's version offers tourists and city workers an eclectic mix of vintage, fashion, and, of course, food.
Our bakeries are no longer in the comfort zone of their own bakeries. This is unfamiliar territory. This is central London, hustle and bustle.
Yeah.
They're going to have to really perform today to make sure they sell out.
What are the cookies again? Lemon and ginger?
Lemon and ginger, yeah.
First to set up are the quirky baking siblings from the cake shop.
Yeah. We'll just...
Lindsay, how high up do we have this?
What?
They've produced an ambitious range of 7 bakes that include courgette and goat's cheese pizza slices, wholemeal loaves, pear and almond tarts, blackcurrant frangipanes, meringues splashed with berry coulis, brownies, and lemon and ginger cookies. And they're going for a no-frills approach with their stall.
The Cake Shop Bakery have been very formulaic with how they've laid their products out.
It's got that kind of modern farmer's market look about it, I think.
The next bakery to set up are the champions of Yorkshire produce, the Angel's Share. They've also got pizzas, 3 cheese and tomato quiches, brownies, summer fruit friand cakes, and soft amaretti biscuits, as well as their only nod to their hometown, seed-packed Richmond Cobblestone loaves.
I really like the look of the Angel's Share stall. It's got different heights, it's got different colours.
I like the fact that Angel's Share have taken blackboards for the sign so you can see instantly what the product is and how much it is.
French pâtissières Maison Messi have never sold at a market before.
Getting quite attracted, actually, to meet people.
But they're embracing the vintage theme, using old records to name their bakes, including their 2 types of supersized focaccia, cheese and onion and roasted vegetable, summerberry cheesecakes, dog-shaped meringues, brownies, and family-sized ham and leek, or cheese and mushroom, quiches.
We said Maison Messi were going to be quite unpredictable. They're really quite quirky.
It's record day at the market, and they've kind of branded up their bakery with that kind of style. I think it's very clever.
The bakeries have now got just 90 minutes to sell their wares during the lunchtime rush. The judges will be watching to see how they sell and who sells most.
Bakers, are you ready? 3, 2, 1, get selling!
The bakeries are all ready for the rush, but it's a slow start.
Should we go out there? I don't want to. You see, I don't like hassling people. We'll go. It's early days yet, isn't it?
Yeah.
They are all stood behind their counters. There's like a 3 or 4 metre gap between the main passing people and the market stalls. What they've got to do is get them and almost chaperone them straight to their stalls.
Experienced farmers marketeer Alex is the first to realise that if the customers won't come to her, she'll have to go to the customers.
It is, yeah. We need to get them in, so I shall...
Playing it far too safe.
Shall I go and accost some people then?
And she heads out with a plate of amaretti biscuits to do some hard selling.
Shall we go down that end? Made this morning, so we're just on that stall there. If you'd like to buy any. They are nice, aren't they? Yeah. Good.
Market new boys, Maison Messi, are quick to follow her lead.
You will have to buy one because they are so lush. So good. Yeah.
And they soon seal the deal on a summer berry cheesecake.
Very good. Oui. Yeah. Remy?
Got the first sale of the day and feel quite good about it.
We've got amazing meringues and pizza. Come and have a look. Come and try some. Yeah.
Then there's no stopping any of them.
Come and have a look. We've got a deal on all of those. Just sold 4 brownies and some meringues.
You should. That's £2. That's lovely. Thank you very much. Bye.
The focaccia?
Yeah, please.
Yeah. Do you want a whole one or half?
It was fabulous, so I thought I'd take some home to my husband and my children.
Maison Messi are now really turning on that French charm.
There you go, 14 change.
David from the cake shop made a last-minute change to his menu, dropping ciabattas in favour of his veggie top pizzas. And it looks like his business gamble is paying off.
I think it's definitely good that we decided to do no ciabatta and make everything into pizza.
And his pizza sales haven't gone unnoticed by Alex at Angel's Share.
Looking at the competition, I'm seeing that their slices of pizza are going, and yet, by contrast, ours is actually better value at £2.50 for 3 times the price, and with more filling on, if I say it myself.
There you go, £7 change. Thank you very much.
I just wonder whether we're losing out on the sales because they get to that stall first.
Can I tempt you with anything?
Can I get a brownie, please?
Yeah, of course.
Pizza's not the only item that the bakeries are all competing with each other on.
Do you want to try pizza brownie as well?
All 3 are selling brownies and will try anything to bag a sale.
Would you like to try some of ours?
No, I'm okay for the thanks. I've just eaten.
You must go, yeah.
Halfway through the challenge,
Merci beaucoup. Bon après-midi.
and Maison Macy still have plenty of their large focaccia slices and quiches to shift.
What's been your best seller?
It started actually with the chocolate cake, and now it's actually the cheesecake who sells.
Cheesecake, that's vibrancy. That's the only product that you have on the table that has fresh fruit on it.
Actually, some people are grabbing here.
Okay, we'll leave you to it. All right, we won't stop a sale.
That's great, thank you.
The Angel's Share were also confident that they could woo the market goers with their bread and savoury items.
What's been your best-selling product?
I think the most successful item has been the raspberry brownies, really, which is not really what we were expecting. I thought the breads would go, if I'm honest.
And how many of your Richmond Cobblestones have you sold?
Don't think we've sold them one, have we?
No? No bread?
No.
Brilliant. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
But at the cake shop, David, who once worked in a trendy East London bakery, and sister Lindsay are doing a steady trade with their robustly priced sweet bakes.
Right, Lindsay, what's selling?
A lot of the cookies and the brownies, they're really popular.
And £1.50 for a cookie, that's not a cheap price, is it?
It's worth every penny.
Your brownies are the most expensive of the bakeries selling them here today.
You can underprice yourself, and people will think, well, if it's just sort of averagely priced, it's going to be an average thing. I might as well get it from somewhere else.
So you stand by your price?
Yeah.
Well, you've got just over half an hour.
Oh, really?
To sell the rest of your products.
Right, okay.
Good afternoon, sir.
With the clock counting down, all the bakeries need to go on a final offensive.
Got a lot to get rid of still, but I'm sure we'll manage it.
And David from the cake shop is quick to adopt another new business strategy.
You can have it for £1. I'm knocking 50p off just for you.
Which quickly catches on.
£1 each for quiches. Fresh cream quiches, just £1.
I think that is a really good strategy. Last 15-20 minutes, get out there, make it really easy for the customer to buy.
Do you want a slice? Started to do buy one, get one half price.
Can I interest you in all the savoury items in the bread are £1 each now?
Hand it to the lady. You know, it's the final push, it's the last few minutes. You've got nothing to lose. You might as well sell it for something than nothing.
One of those?
Oh, look. Finally, a Richmond Cobblestone loaf has sold.
Got your bread in.
With just minutes to go, all the bakers sell any which way they can.
Everything's dirt cheap. We were here by about 30 seconds to sell everything.
4, yeah.
And the customers can't believe their luck.
3 for £2. 3 for £2?
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
And half of each, yep.
Thank you.
Bakeries, that's it. Stop selling.
Time's up. The challenge is over. All the bakeries can do is reflect on their mixed fortunes.
We've been selling really well on the cheesecake and the chocolate cake.
We completely sold out of brownies. We completely sold out of cookies. I have 1 loaf of bread left.
I hope we've made enough money. We've certainly tried our best. We've thrown ourselves at the customers.
Yeah, literally.
Now Mitch and Peter will be taking everything into account when they tot up the bakery sales, assess their performance and taste the bakes.
Refreshing afternoon entertainment. Everyday favourites sponsored by Febreze.
With the Dyson Digital Motor V6, 2-tier radial cyclones, and a motorised cleaner head, the new Dyson Digital Slim Vacuum sucks up as much dust as even a corded vacuum.
What is your definition of happiness?
A clear horizon. Nothing to worry about.
Sainsbury's Basics Barn Eggs and Tesco Everyday Value Eggs both cost 93p for 6. The difference is, Sainsbury's hens are all cage free, with room to roam around.
There ain't no place I'd rather be. Next to you, next to
Because for us, good value also means good values.
Come on, boy. Fetch. Go on, boy. Fetch.
All right, I'll do it then.
Lady Brassick's the brains behind the operation. And trawled through all those comparison for car insurance, but came up trumps by going direct to Aviva. We call her Lady Geek now, don't we, Hickson? You're not blessed with a sense of humour, are you, darling?
No.
5-star car insurance from just £192 direct from Aviva. Little things matter.
Refreshing afternoon entertainment. Everyday favourites, sponsored by Febreze.
The first round of a marathon 3-day final is reaching its climax at the historic Christchurch in London. 3 bakeries, all competing for the crown of Britain's best, are about to present a selection of their sweet and savoury items created to sell at Old Spitalfields Market. Bread expert Peter Sidwell and cake connoisseur Mitch Turner will be tasting the bakes and revealing how well the bakeries performed in the Market Challenge. None of them will leave today, but everything the judges have seen and tasted will count towards the final result.
Well, this is the focaccia then.
First up, young artisan siblings, the Cake Shop Bakery from Suffolk. They cut it fine in the kitchen to produce an ambitious modern stall with 7 bakes, including meringues, blackcurrant frangipanes and pizza slices.
Looks really enticing.
It's got that nice sort of summery collection of vegetables on there.
Quick-thinking David's decision to convert his ciabatta dough into pizza was rewarded with steady sales. But was it worth buying?
The bake on the ciabatta bread is really good. It's lovely and aerated, it's nice and crisp on the outside, slightly softer in the middle from the moisture of the topping, but I like that.
Lovely as a lunchtime treat, and I think that really fits the brief for Spitalfields.
Next, it's keenly anticipated Blackcurrant Frangipane.
You can have the bigger piece.
Thank you. Look at those juicy blackcurrants.
I think the frangipane is just slightly underbaked, but only by a fraction.
And the balance is not quite right. The harmony between the sharpness of the blackcurrants, the sweetness of the pastry, and the intensity of the frangipane. I think that needs a little bit more work.
Finally, the lemon and ginger cookie.
They're very simple and very modest.
The judges thought it wouldn't stand out, but it proved a steady seller.
Do you know what? It is what it is. It's a lovely ginger biscuit.
Wonderfully crisp on the outside, really chewy on the inside. Intensely gingery, not getting the lemon, but as a biscuit, I would quite happily have one of those with a mug of coffee.
Next, it's the turn of the Birmingham-based patissières Maison Macy. Their supersized offerings included brownies, dog-shaped meringues, and roasted vegetable focaccia.
25 of these focaccia were made for your stall. How many did you sell?
Sold about 7 of them.
But have the quantity of their bakes compromised the quality?
I think your focaccia has a wonderful flavour. I think a little bit of extra seasoning from the salt and pepper would have balanced it right the way through to have finished it off. But I think as the focaccia goes, that's really good.
I just think you should have made those in smaller portions that people could just walk around with.
Next, it's a slice of mushroom, Stilton and watercress quiche. The family size meant that David and Remy struggled to get them baked in time.
The flavour is wonderful. The combination of watercress and the blue cheese and the mushrooms works so well.
The quiche is well flavoured. The pastry's raw on the bottom.
I'm just going to turn it over to have a look. You can see there straight away. Because you didn't bake these blind, you had to compromise on the bake of the pastry. That's exactly what's happened there, which is a shame.
The quiche has let David and Remy down. Can their more popular summer fruit cheesecake save the day?
Your baked cheesecake did seem to be one of the stars of the show.
Yes, yeah.
And I think that's because of all the bakeries, this was the only fresh fruit product available.
It's a nice, light baked cheesecake, perfect for a summer's day. Great collection of fruits on there, really nicely balanced.
I think that's the nicest product I've tasted from your table.
Thank you.
Finally, it's the turn of the champions of Yorkshire produce, Alex and Di, from the Angel's Share. They ran a tight ship in the kitchen and produced a well-laid-out stall. But the judges were concerned that their selection of tried and tested bakes, including pizzas, cheese and tomato quiches, and amaretti biscuits, didn't showcase their usual passion for Yorkshire fare.
Now, your Richmond cobble bread, visually, I think it looks really interesting.
So bread expert Peter is keen to taste the Richmond Cobblestone loaf, named after their hometown.
It does feel quite a dense loaf of bread, and it's not quite as baked through as I might like. And you're nodding, I'm guessing you're thinking the same thing as well.
I'm actually really disappointed that technically it's not the best loaf. And at this stage of the competition, it's something that we would expect and we would be looking for.
A disappointing start. Can the Angel Share's 3 cheese and tomato quiche redeem them?
I think they are the perfect size. Visually, they are glistening. They are packed full of tomatoes, goat's cheese and herbs, and I think they really look smashing. What your bread lacked in technical finesse is more than made up for in this quiche. Pastry is delicious. It's wonderfully crisp. It's got a lovely short bite to it. When you look underneath, you can see that it has been beautifully baked all the way through.
The filling is nice and light, and the flavour combination is good. I think you have delivered a really, really good quiche.
Thank you.
Finally, it's the turn of the Yorkshire Pear's bestseller, the brownie.
I think that is a really delicious, tasty brownie. Intensely satisfying, wonderfully indulgent.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
It's not too sweet, it's got that nice, dark chocolate depth of flavour that you want. It's a well-made brownie. Well done.
Thank you.
Tasting over, the judges need to deliberate on which bakery best fulfilled the brief.
I think what the Cake Shop Bakery did incredibly well was be able to react to the conditions within the selling space of the market. They reduced their prices and started really giving deals.
And they made a good choice of different bakes to put out there.
The only thing, and I am nitpicking, was the Blackcurrant Frangipane. It was slightly underbaked.
I think the tasting went pretty well, actually. That's good, because last time around we had a bit of a struggle with the Chelsea pensioners brief.
Maison Macy really went for volume today at the expense, I think, of quality.
Best tasting product from Maison Macy, the baked cheesecake. The only bakery to dress any product with fresh glazed fruits. Absolutely played to their strengths.
I don't think we've done as well as we wanted to for the first final. The other bakery have done better.
For me, the Angel Share delivered the best looking table. It would be the one that I would have been drawn to. Their bread absolutely let them down.
The dough was too tight. It wasn't wet enough, so it wasn't stretchy enough.
Had a wonderful flavour, but at this stage of the competition, I expected more.
The bread, we knew it wasn't right, but we're overall...
Yeah, we're pleased, yeah. It was fair comment.
It's time for the judges to reveal who sold the most at market.
Bakeries, well done. You have all put an incredible amount of effort in today.
Whoever comes out on top today will have a head start in the quest to take the title.
Maison Macy, you took just over £60.
Angel Share, you took just over £80.
Cake Shop Bakery, You took just over £130. Well done.
One challenge down, 2 more to go before the winner can be announced, and the 3 bakeries all know they have a tough task ahead of them.
I think we're still in the running. I think we've pulled ourselves back a little bit. I like the fact that we thought ours looked the best, and I think we can definitely go forward and win.
It's just put us under a bit more pressure for the 2 other final, which we'll have to impress with both of them now. So.
I think what we've got now is a really good, solid start to the final, and it means that we can go into the next 2 challenges knowing that we've got that behind us.
We started today with 3 bakeries, very much level pegging. I think it's clear that one has really done incredibly well at the challenge and has got their eyes on the prize.
Next time, it's the penultimate challenge.
The iconic bake. I love this challenge.
A chance to shine with a show-stopping bake.
I think it's going to blow them out of the water.
Bon voyage, mon ami.
Bit of magic dust.
But things don't all go to plan.
It's not screaming, eat me.
For me, bit of a fail, guys, I'm sorry.
Because if you guys are going to make a pie, my God, it's going to have to be an amazing pie.
As the search continues for Britain's best bakery.